Practitioners nurture interdependence more than independence because relatedness increases enjoyment. That's why in the spiritual world, everyone is related to Radha-Krishna and to one another through their love for Radha-Krishna. And in this world, everyone is related to one another because we are all emanations of Radha-Krishna, and we contain their spirit within us. We are sparks of the divine who illuminate the cosmos with spiritual light. Unless we're so covered over by matter ourselves that the spirit can shine through us. So natural devotion is a process of uncovering the soul and its natural spiritual light so that it can shine forth into the world with love of Radha-Krishna. People influence the future by how they live in the present, the consciousness they develop, and most importantly, the loving relationship they develop with Radha-Krishna. Devotees envision their desired future and enlist the aid of Goddess to get them there by living in the presence of Goddess constantly. So we create our own future. We influence the future by how we live in the present. Some may call this the law of karma. Our desires and actions in the present create the future that we plan. Just like I record a video now, and in the future, therefore, I see myself editing it at the computer and posting it on YouTube and people watching it. I'm creating the future. And so we create our future both in this life and in the next. And I don't know about you, but I'm not too happy with the way things are in this life, especially at this time in history. Things are about as bad as I've seen. And what can we do about it? But we know that we're just passing through this life temporarily and hope and have faith that the next life will be better. So we're not just hoping it will be better, but Universalist Radha-Krishnaism teaches us how to make it better, how to clearly visualize the next life in a way that will make it the way you want it to be, the way you are comfortable living eternally, according to your innate being, and how you uniquely relate to Radha-Krishna, and what unique bliss they will attain from relating to you and you from them. So we're planning that now. Just like George Harrison said, if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. Well, I know where I'm going, and I have a specific idea of the place I'm going to and who I will be in that place. We call that place Braj, the transcendental abode of Radha-Krishna. And in that abode, we develop a spiritual identity in which we can relate to Radha-Krishna one-on-one in a personal, intimate way. My book tells how to do that, and in this series of videos, I'll be continuing to explain it more fully. Expressed in the language of contemporary science, Goddess expanded through the Big Bang to become all things. The one became many, but remains one. This is traditional Vedic teaching. The one became many, but remains one. Presenting things with a new Western outlook, I maintain the traditional teachings in their essential forms, not following their letter but their spirit, especially as the great 19th century visionary mystic and poet Bhaktivinoda Thakur expressed in his writings. Practitioners become free of bondage to the past through natural detachment from the outcome of work. We work not for our own personal benefit, but in order to further our love of Radha-Krishna, so that we might go on growing in our devotion to Radha-Krishna and in our service to the world as their emissary or agent in the world, as we spread their love from person to person, which is what they want for all of us, to experience their love. And by acting without personal desire and offering the results of our actions to Radha-Krishna, there is no karma or reaction to bind us to this world, so that we can become free to join them at the time of death, when we leave this body and go on to the envisioned version of Braj, which we intentionally formulate in our mind and in our spiritual consciousness. This is a practice meant to be undertaken over a period of years, as one deepens the process and develops the love within oneself, understanding who one is within the spiritual world more and more clearly as time goes on. As the transcendental cupid, Goddess urges life to new heights of enjoyment. Goddess enjoys all kinds of experience as play. People can maximize their enjoyment by considering the environment's needs and others' enjoyment. People co-create with Goddess by creating themselves and their environment. Experiencing ever new possibilities enhances Goddess's enjoyment as well as the individual's. Goddess exists as an essential part of all experience. Universalist Radha-Krishnaism has nothing to do with artificial renunciation and asceticism and things of that nature. We enjoy life fully as conscious participants in life, but we do it conscious of the interconnection and dependency between all things. And so when we enjoy ourselves, we take the environment into consideration and try our best not to pollute, and in fact even take active steps to preserve the environment and keep it from being destroyed by those who would do so wantonly. Also, we need to take the enjoyment of others into account, and not just enjoy for our own personal enjoyment's sake, using others rather than cooperating and loving with others and being part of life together. When we love, we don't use people, we don't take advantage of them. And so we need to see how each person is formed in Radha-Krishna's image. And so how can we do harm to another human being? Artificial renunciation and asceticism are even considered detrimental to progress in natural devotion because they harden the heart, and they do not provide the enjoyment of life that Radha-Krishna liked to experience. Look at their lives. How ascetic are they? They enjoy fully and responsibly. That's the thing. We have to be responsible and conscious. We need to become refined in our enjoyment and learn to develop a particular taste for enjoyment that's in line with the more subtle tastes of spiritual life that are experienced in Braj. People there live such wonderful lives together, living cooperatively and working together in a simple village pastoral setting, we can learn to do the same here in this life by working together and cooperating, having friendship, and loving relations with all. In this way, the world can become a better place, and all the hostility and nationalistic and sectarian religious resentments that are tearing the world apart can be done away with. If only we could learn to adapt the plan of Goddess that is there within the hearts of all, waiting to be awakened so that the earth can become like Braj. Their desire is that Braj be on earth as it is in the spiritual world also, and that we learn to work together and live together and love together as in Braj. Devotees play a unique role on the cosmic stage with Goddess, using their unpredictable free will to create new pastimes. As Lalita Prasad Thakur told me, I should start to develop my personal identity in Braj by following the traditional pastimes of Radha-Krishna as laid out by Rupa Goswami. He said, but then after a while you can start to improvise and make up your own pastimes that you just spontaneously realize as you develop your character in the spiritual world. So indeed, this is true. I started out following the standard meditation practices that Rupa Goswami laid out and followed the tradition, and then I started having my own insights and learned to adjust the traditional Indian renderings of the meditation into a more Western setting while maintaining the spiritual essence of them. And in this way I continue on and create, I'm sure, uniquely new pastimes that I enjoy with Radha-Krishna, and I hope they enjoy with me. And in this way we can each have a unique pastime with them, and by having all these unique new pastimes, it tremendously increases Radha-Krishna's enjoyment. And so that's what devotional service is about, increasing the pleasure of Radha-Krishna. How can we best do that? Devotees learn to live like the paradigmatic individuals in Radha-Krishna's spiritual world Braj. By following their examples, devotees attune themselves with Goddess's promptings and their innate pre-reflective knowing. So we study the literature from the Goswamis and their followers and learn what life in Braj is like. And then we imagine it for ourselves and we see how we fit into it. And we consider the eternal residents of Braj as our role models for developing our spiritual bodies. And yet we don't have to do it in an Indian way, as I said, but in a Western way, providing a more unique experience, something new for Radha-Krishna to enjoy, and to allow Westerners to adopt without having to walk around with clay on their foreheads and beads on their neck and saffron robes and things of that nature. We can just be regular people, but have the richness of Radha-Krishna's love within us. Because people often discern the truth of things better intuitively than rationally. Intuitive knowing comes from innate unconscious promptings from Goddess from within. So this is the Sahaja Samadhi that Bhakti Vinod talked about, that innate spontaneous knowing that allows us to really self-realize the spiritual world and our relationship with Radha-Krishna for ourselves. We don't have to believe in Radha-Krishna. We know Radha-Krishna. They are a living fact in our lives, and they can be in yours too. Be sure and like and subscribe so that you get further videos in this series as I go on explaining the transcendental loving nature of Radha-Krishna.